Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and once again, I'm discussing Jill Stein's Green New Deal. That I covered it quite often during her run in the general election, and then also during the initial weeks of Donald Trump's presidential reign in the White House. Him being a builder and working in the field of construction, I thought that he might be a candidate who could actually do something new in the top spot, and that is make a heavy, all hands on deck push towards renewable energy research, development, implementation, and then also infrastructure research and development and implementation, and then also jobs programs, living wage jobs, that they are all part of the same package, shifting resources and investments away from military defense spending and war profiteering into building and making America great again, because that's what and who he said he was. And that doesn't seem to be happening at the national level. That this Green New Deal that's entirely possible, feasible, and required and needed, it's not being done on the federal level, despite us having the capability of doing it on the federal level. And the fact that we have a president who seemed to be capable of leading that effort and who has chosen not to. And so, in response to this challenge, it's the states that are doing the Green New Deal state by state by state, like many other policies that should be implemented at the national level, like single payer health care, and then also legalization of medical cannabis, and among many other policies that should be national policy. It's being done state by state by state, that it's governors and state legislatures and grassroots activists, people on the ground, town councils and mayors who are leading innovations on most policies, economic, social, cultural, political, things like this. It's leadership being found at the grassroots, because leadership is lacking at the federal level, and that's very disappointing. But again, the American people are rising up, realizing that not only things are possible, but that they are required, that they are not unicorns or fantasies, that they are entirely doable and grounded in reality. All these policies, and so it's great what we're seeing. People are doing what they feel has to be done. Until we do get leadership on the national level, and hopefully there will be an awakening soon, sooner than later. Because if there is, that it's only beneficial to us, that we should want our president to succeed and be successful, because that is a benefit to us if he is. If he's choosing not to, then we have to take uh, the initiative. And so the Green New Deal, I found this PDF on Jill Stein's website, her Jill 2016 website, and I've spoken about it before. I'm going to do a quick run through again, talking about what it is. It's converting our fossil fuel economy, which is dead ending. For instance, coal, dead ending. That the cost feasibility is becoming out of range when people compare it to solar, which has fallen in price, and then also wind energy development. And so now coal is less feasible, and we still have a president who keeps saying that he wants to bring coal jobs back. Meanwhile, states have moved on without him, that he's not providing any leadership. And so states like Kentucky, coal county, ultra conservative, coal mining, coal. They are becoming leaders in converting coal industry into solar industry, that they are retraining They're providing job opportunities. They're redirecting resources into solar, and that they are not the only ones. There's this effort in Montana. There's also energy centers in Oklahoma, which is a fossil fuel uh, port. Well, not port, but centralized place for fossil fuel development. Oklahoma is, and so is Texas. But there is also a very strong renewable energy industry in Oklahoma, wind energy, and that they're actually building and developing wind energy plants. Texas has also a strong wind energy industry as well. And I've spoken of the Clean Line that's intended to run transmission line from Oklahoma through Arkansas into Memphis in order to develop the market. And that there are all kinds of programs such as these around the nation, that Rhode Island has offshore wind plants that are generating wind offshore and then transmitting it to the mainland. And so you see, Iowa as well, strong wind energy industry. About 1/3 of its electricity is generated by wind, and that's only going to increase as the price of wind falls. And it's a benefit to farmers that while coal rips up the ground and displaces people and causes health concerns for the surrounding community, wind energy is mutually beneficial, especially in farming communities where if the price of agriculture falls, they can make up the difference with their wind energy transmission and the leasing that they do for the wind energy companies. And so this is the future. This is the future. There seems to be a focus on the past at our federal government, a focus on oil pipeline building, frack gas pipeline building, nuclear, and it's and the harmful effects on the community that those fossil fuel industries cause. So the Green New Deal is not federal at the moment. It's actually state based. And so that's still wonderful. We do what we have to. Okay. And so that's what the Green New Deal is. It's guaranteeing full employment and generating millions of living wage jobs, and making the government the employer of last resort. And so that's not happening quite now, that it's, again, state-based, and then private industries that are generating these jobs in the renewable energy industry. And so basically the Green New Deal is building on a concept of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal, calling for a mass emergency mobilization of communities and resources, government, and the people on the scale of World War II, when we had to transition from an agricultural nation into an industrialized nation, building, manufacturing, warships, ammunition, highway and road systems to transport all this equipment, rapidly build up our infrastructure in order to mobilize the United States for war. And so we can still do that for climate change. So we do have the capacity to do that. It's just, do we have the political will? And so, again, it's calling for a complete phase out of fossil fuels, frack gas, and nuclear power by 2030. There's an outlier calling for the mobilization towards 100% renewable energy by 2050, but people are saying that it's too far away, that we actually need to do it, not even by 2030, it has to be done sooner. But that's and then people are saying that, according to this report, that it's possible to do that within actually the next 10 years, make that transition. But that because of political opposition, 20 years have been added. And it is an example of the political opposition, again, the Clean Line running from Oklahoma through Arkansas into Memphis in order to sell wind energy to customers in Arkansas and Tennessee for energy independence because it's for domestic use. That there is a competing infrastructure resource being built, and that's the Diamond Pipeline. That there's a Diamond Pipeline on schedule to run from Oklahoma through Arkansas into Memphis to refine oil, but not for domestic use. That's for export. So that's not for energy independence. And so, the Arkansas congressional delegation has approved of the Diamond Pipeline, the oil pipeline, but they're blocking the Clean Line, the wind transmission line. This is the type of political opposition that's standing in the way of the Green New Deal. But the fact that there's so many developments around the nation, California's got its solar, and hopefully they may contemplate offshore wind energy in other states on the coast as well. I think there are activists who want to see that happen on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana rather than continuance of frack gas and oil fossil fuel development and transport through the wetlands down there. So, it's possible, but there's political interference. And let's see, there's a priority on providing resources to workers displaced from the fossil fuel industry. And so, people say, well, jobs, jobs, jobs. The renewable energy industry provides jobs. Good jobs that you don't have to, get a black lung disease from. And that workers who are displaced by fossil fuel shutdown or into fossil fuel industry like coal, that they are first in line for solar. And it's similar to the single payer debate that, yes, that there's probably going to be some job displacement, but those who are displaced from the for-profit healthcare industry will be the first in line to get jobs in the new Medicare for All industry. So, kind of balances out. Okay, and so I'm gonna go ahead and post this link in the description, a link to the Green New Deal, so you can read through it yourself. And you can see that even though it has been described and derided as unicorn fantasies, that it's actually already being implemented. And so the people who are saying like this can never happen and no, it's not possible, they're very much ignorant of what's already been happening for years, state by state by state. So the Green New Deal is here. It's in the Overton window. It's in the acceptable range of public discourse and public policy and possibility. That there is a goal to invest in sustainable businesses, including cooperatives and nonprofits. There's a goal to move to 100% clean energy by 2030. There's a goal to create a commission for economic democracy to provide publicity and training and education and financing for these industries, and to establish a renewable energy administration to provide oversight on this. And then end unemployment in America once and for all by guaranteeing jobs in this sector. It's a way to deal with the climate by going 100% clean by 2030. And so it even describes that there's very concrete ways to do this on a national level. If Donald Trump feels like saving his presidency, that he might consider, you know what, maybe I'll do it. If not, maybe the governors can look at the Green New Deal and say, okay, I'll be my own president of the state, and we'll get it done that way. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and post this link in the description for people to review. If you feel like lobbying for this effort with your governor, with your state legislature, then it's entirely possible for you to do that, that you have the power to lobby your state legislature to consider accelerating or even hyper accelerating a Green New Deal in your state. And I say good luck to you.